So I wanted to do a video today about a story that my granddad told me a few years ago. It's been a year since he passed away, and I've been having a lot of dreams about him and thinking about him a lot. And last night I had a dream about him speaking to me through a voice over that he'd done, which he'd never done. It was just a dream about this. And I used to have a lot of phone calls with my granddad, and he's the kind of man that you'd be on the phone to and he'd be telling you about what's going on in his life, telling you what's going on, and you could put the phone down, walk away, make a cup of tea, come back, and he'd still be telling you the story that he was telling you 20 minutes ago. He just loved to speak. Maybe where I get it from. He told me a story about how during World War II, when the Germans were bombing England, because they were bombing London and Birmingham, strategic points, he had tonsillitis. And he was severely sick, and the doctor said to him and my great-grandmother that he needed to stay indoors in the warmth. So that evening they didn't go down to the end of the garden to stay in the bomb shelter. And that evening the Germans flew over and they bombed Birmingham, which resulted in the destruction of the bomb shelter at the end of the garden. So when my granddad came out of the door in the morning and saw this bomb shelter that had completely been blown out of the ground, it was a moment in my family tree where if this hadn't have happened, if he hadn't have been inside and hadn't have had tonsillitis, I wouldn't be sat here today. And I look at these moments in my life where things split into forks, whether I go this way or that way. What decision do I make? Where have been the pinnacle moments in my life where a decision fully changed the trajectory of my life? For example, moving to Bali 4 years ago, making that decision to end a relationship and fly to the other side of the world for a job offer that ended up failing. And whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, whether all these negative experiences or positive experiences, when they show up, sometimes the negative ones lead to an even more positive outcome. And it goes back to 2 years ago when I got dengue fever and I was stung by a mosquito and I spent 10 days in hospital. I'd been fighting to be a fitness coach online, and I was getting in shape, and I was trying to reach 100 kilograms and get into the best shape of my life just so I could stay in the algorithm and would be relevant because of my size. And the day that I hit my goal was the day that I actually got the dengue symptoms. And I lost 8 kilograms in a week. And it was like, what am I doing? I couldn't go to the gym for 3 months. I was unable to actually train. And I thought, what's the point in training other people if I can't even train myself? And I had a lot of free time. And I'd always wanted to be coaching voice. Voice classes were the ones that I remembered the most from my drama school training. And I wanted to help people be able to speak, to be able to tell stories. So I went all in because I had no other choice. And I took hold of that negative experience that had happened and I turned it into a positive experience. Focused on the business, and I made $3,000 in the first 2 weeks of starting it up, because I believed that it could happen. And I'd been putting it on the back burner for so long, and it had to come down to having this struggle and having to let go of a version of myself and losing weight and losing all of these things and letting go. I had to let go. It taught me the most important lesson of letting go, because I had to let go of an ex-partner at the same time whilst in a hospital bed. I couldn't chase anymore. I couldn't distract myself. I just had to lie there in a hospital bed and let go. I had no other way of fighting the anxiety. I just had to sit in that discomfort, the discomfort and the pain of the dengue, the discomfort and pain of knowing that my ex-partner was off with another man. And do you know what? It made me stronger. It made me realize that you can't distract yourself constantly with things. It's not going to work. And sometimes letting that stuff go is what's going to open up the space for you to be able to get into the next version of yourself that gets you the things that you need and to be on purpose and make something happen in your life. But you don't have to wait for something like that to happen in order for you to be able to do that. And I'm realizing that now. I have the choice to be able to choose to be happy and be joyful so that I can create content like this, so I can get the camera out, so I can go surfing, so I can live my life and be happy because I choose to be. I don't have to wait for another really painful moment for me to make that decision. I don't want to make decisions from pain anymore. I want to make decisions from joy that are logical and rational. So that's my share for today. And if anything with that resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. Thank you.